This is Bob.
Yo, I laugh every time you say it. Inside, I laugh every time you say that. You say it again for me, too, so I can laugh.
So this is Bob.
And this is Dwyane. Oh, that sounds so like we're in school.
Right. It does feel like this is real professional. It feels
All
like.
right, I'm Dwyane.
And then, checking in, right?
Yeah, man, we do our check-in. Our check-in.
How you doing?
We're gonna check in with you first. We always gonna check in with you first.
Okay.
You the oldest one here.
Oh.
So we check in with the one who's the oldest first.
You know what? That's a sign of respect. I get that. I'll take it.
So, how are you doing, sir?
Man, I'm tired. Boss. I am tired. I just got back from Miami.
You just got back from Miami, right? Like when?
Like yesterday afternoon. And I flew back from right after the Wellness Center. The Wellness Summit. So I just got back yesterday, came back, I had to go shut down the studio. So I had to go start prepping that. And it was a little bittersweet because you can realize you got a lot of history into something. And I just was just...
So you needed to be in there by yourself. It was emotional. Is that what you...
Nah, I ain't crying now.
Why emotion got to be crying?
You know what? You're right. You're right. I mean? I felt like you was going there with it, but all right. But I didn't.
No. It was an emotional.
It was emotional. It was bittersweet because it was. I built that 7 years.
Yeah.
7 years in there, and you realize you can collect a lot of junk in 7 years.
Yeah.
A lot of junk. I was back there like, yo, this is here. This is here. I found pictures. I found my old Fantasy Fest balls from back in the day. Man, there's a lot of stuff in there.
Well, look, did you wear that hat when you was in there? Because the stuff you got underneath your brim looked like you was in an old storage.
Damn, yeah. Well, it is, yeah. So actually, I picked up all my merch. Fly merch, yeah. But I picked up all my merch, and all that stuff was there. I was sweaty. I was dirty, but it was good. It was a good trip. And I got back, and now I'm here, and we on the road again. But I come on the road, and look what happened.
Yeah, well, we're on the road, and you've heard us say that a few times, and it's because we are getting a new content space, a new office space right now, and so we're getting some work done to it. And so right now we got to find random locations anywhere we can to be able to bring this content to you guys. And so right now we on location, we on the road, we on Malibu. You guys I hope y'all can see the ward off my eyes. I don't know if you can see it.
Nah, I can't see it.
But yeah, so that at some point we'll be in a location. But right now we're on the road.
How are you? How you doing?
Man, listen. I've done something the last 2 days that I've wanted to do. And one of the hardest things on this, you guys see me sitting up here, you see my polo underneath here, I just came from golfing.
I knew it.
I just came from golfing.
I knew
and
it.
So one of the things that I vowed to myself is I go into now my 6th season in golf, probably playing the last 4 years consistently, is to do it more, to get out there more. And golf you have to make space for.
You do.
Because it's not, if you have a career, if you're a father, if you're a husband, if you all these different things, it doesn't have any space for something that's going to take 4 hours out your day.
Right.
And so the last 2 days for me, I've gotten up early and I've had one of either the first or second tee time off, in the mornings. And so, yeah, just like I've been playing golf lately, and I went and took a few lessons a lot, like lately as too. Like I've been doing a lot about it. And so for me, it's like I got to go practice.
Mm-hmm.
And we talk about, from a basketball standpoint, we talk about what practice means and repetition means. And then you have to translate that into the next sport if you want to be good. And so for me, these last 2 days, I golfed by myself.
Okay.
I was able to golf 3 balls. Like I was golfing like I was 3 people. And I was able to get my own game, my own feel. And I was able to continue to progress. And sometime in golf, when you just go out there, you may have a good round or you may have a good session. You kind of just leave it there and you pick the club up again in another 2 weeks or so.
Right.
And so for me, coming off the wellness, week, coming off of golfing, before things get busy for me, I wanted to take these 2 days, these 2 mornings to get out there and practice. And so I'm feeling real good because I got a chance to get out there.
Well, how'd you play?
Something. Well, whenever you play by yourself, you play incredible because there's no one there
No
to
witnesses.
say, there are no witnesses.
No
So
witnesses.
you forget that you might have hit 3 balls off the tee. You just go with the one that went the further. So I played incredible, the best golf I've ever played in my life.
See?
But in golf, you got to keep discovering things. And so I discovered something over the last week, and I just wanted to put that into play and see if I can feel it again and do it again. And if I can, then now I know I just got to continue to put the reps and the reps and the reps in, so I can get the swing that I need to to get the yardage that I want. So my check-in is a pretty good check-in as
It's a
I
damn good check in.
get prepared for a very busy time coming up in my life. So this was my time to like be by myself, think about what's coming, take a deep breath, because once it comes, it's going to be over,
Yes.
and I'm not going to have time to think about what just happened. And so I took these 2 days to kind of like think about what's coming, and I'm ready.
We're not here by ourselves though, right?
Normally we're not sitting this close together.
We are not. This is actually kind of funny because you got the left side of my face now, and I know how you love the left side of your face. I'm like,
Yeah,
so we
my
both
right
got.
side, I look a little. I'm about 10 years old on my right side. So
And what's funny is that I see that you're trying to keep that side, so you're talking to me like this. So I get it. It's cool. It's cool. But who's here with us?
Well, we in this season, and we're trying to bring on more guests and
Right.
more voices to our podcast. And this voice of this young man that's sitting to my right is a very important voice in my life. But this is his first voice on this podcast, and what we found out, any podcast platform. Everybody, welcome Zaire Wade to the show.
Yes, sir, man. Appreciate y'all having me on here, man.
Z Wade, what's up, bro?
What's up, man? I'm here. I'm living.
Yo, so I've been calling him Z Wade his whole life.
Mm.
Like that's right. That's all I've been calling him Z Wade
That's
his whole
Z-Wade.
life. Like he a hooper. Like his whole life, I'm like, you know how they call you D Wade? What up? I'm like Z Wade since he was a kid.
Appreciate that. Now everybody do.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Well, Z Wade, man, we just was doing check-ins, and
Mhm.
so before we get this conversation going, we want to check in with you, young man. It could be about anything.
Yeah.
So what's going on in your life, man? What you feeling? What's your mental? What's your state?
Yeah.
Talk to us.
Man, life, man. I'm taking it day by day right now. Enjoying the close friends around me, keeping the family close, of course. Training really takes up half my schedule nowadays. Just trying to keep my dream alive, keep working towards something. And besides that, I'm trying to get into the content world. So hence my first time on the pod. Got a new YouTube, you know what I'm saying? I just did a little self-promotion there. But besides that, yeah, just, it's taking it day by day.
Explain that a little bit more. You said getting up, working out, keeping your dream alive.
Keeping that dream alive.
Talk about what that dream is. Talk
Mhm.
about what that schedule is, what that mentality is to be able to not only keep your dream alive, but the everyday of it.
Yeah. Well, a dream for me since, I can remember is being an NBA player. I'm 22 now. And what I mean by keep it alive is just continue to believe in myself, for me, to get up every day, let's say it's whatever, 7 o'clock, at least every day. I'm in the gym first with Chris and Corey, down at Just Hoop. Go from there, get some weight training in, some treatment. Then I try to circle back later on in the day, whether it's to shoot again or train one more time in the weights. But really just try to keep that consistent schedule going. Just keep my mindset right, keep it sharp. There's days where it gets dim, some days you get up and you're like, what am I doing this for, essentially? Because it's like you look up and there's months that went by and you doing it repetitive schedule, but you got to find a joy in it. You got to challenge yourself. I think that's what it is. Like, okay, let me do something different today. I couldn't do it, last week, or set a new goal this week. Like for me, trying to reach a weight goal, necessarily. So just been having fun with that lately, challenging myself. So yeah, it's cool. It's a fun journey.
Your story's not like everyone else's story trying to make that same dream.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you think about it? Like, how does that feel for you? Like when you look at it, like my dad, like dad ain't just an average
Yeah.
basketball player, right?
But Bob, I'm not averaging nothing. Don't just say basketball player, sir.
All right, so average basketball player. I'm so sorry, but average basketball player. He kind of he's in the Hall of Fame,
Yeah, right?
Right. So that's a lot to be compared to,
Yeah.
and I'm sure you get comparisons, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for you, how do you separate? How do you ground
Yeah.
yourself and still chase that dream every day? Like you said, months go by.
I think it started when I dropped the comparison myself, honestly. Obviously, you want to be like Pops growing up. And I still do it as far as just being a successful man, a father. But basketball-wise, like, I was telling him the other day, like, even some of the moves he did is just impossible to replicate me messing around in the gym with no defenders. So, like, just trying to embrace who I am. And just remembering, like, Pops telling me stories when I was in 5th grade doing the passes I was doing. Just me just trying to get back to, like, okay, that was me. That's who Z Wade is. And, like, I know that guy, can make his dream come true if I get back to him rather than trying to replicate somebody else. So I think that's where it started for me. And then from there, it's about embracing his accomplishments, versus trying to like shadow away from or, be compared to him. It's more like, yeah, my dad's in the Hall of Fame. You're right. Like, so, I got greatness in me, right? So just embracing it at the end of the day, just looking at it like that versus any other way.
I got greatness in my
Oh, that's a
DNA.
bar, bro.
I got greatness in my DNA. We talked about that, right? Like
Yeah.
Z and I have had we've had many conversations, and I don't know how to help him navigate it neither. Like I didn't go through it. And
Mhm.
so a lot of things, he's going through a lot in our family with the Wade name is a first, just like I went through first.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is that I'm able to be here to help navigate, but understanding as he become an adult, as they get older, you have less and less of the moments to pour into. But making sure that every moment we have, I pour into, and what sometimes pouring into is just listening.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like we've had times that Zaire's been older now, I just got to listen.
Yeah.
And when he was younger, it was me talking, he was listening. And so it's cool when he's on his journey and he's telling you how he sees it and you watching him go out and do it the way that he sees it. And I understand he has a lot of people around him that can help him get there, but the only way he's going to complete the picture is if it's the picture that he's envisioned for himself, because he know every aspect of it. We don't.
True.
And so it's cool being able to be on this side as a dad and to see this kid on this journey. You know what I mean? Like it's a journey, and he's 22 years old, and a lot of us, we like, dang, how old is he? Because he feel like he older because he's mature, you know what I mean, in his appearance.
Getting old.
But also too, like we've been watching him and following him for so long.
So
I always tell Z, I say, Z, you're my favorite basketball player. And he might not understand. Like Jordan was my favorite basketball player. He don't play anymore. But the player that I get excited to see more than anybody is Z Wade. You know what I mean? Because I love the way that he plays the game when he allows himself to let his hair out and just be free. And not put the cornrows in when people lock him up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. A lot of people was asking me like what I was doing with the hair, and I told them, like, honestly, I was talking to my friends, a few of the guys, they just trying to feel like the old me when I was free, like you said. So like that's in all seriousness. It's just when I felt like I was at my peak basketball performance wise, being free, not mentally. Felt like in one spot was when I look like this. So y'all can do the research.
So can you walk the listeners through the process of what it's going to take for you to reach that dream, and not the process of the day-to-day? We understand that the work got to be put in. But outside of that, what are the steps for you as a basketball player, for any basketball player out there, where you are right now at 22? What's next?
Yeah.
What's the next step that you're going to take so you can eventually get to the dream? And that's, obviously to put that jersey on one day, that NBA jersey.
Yeah. I think a lot for me starts physically, just as a whole, because as you see, obviously the NBA game is different now. You do see guys that are a little more, I only want to say skinny, but it's not so much like a football league.
Wiry.
Right. Yeah, you see some wiry guys out there. So it's not so much like game, but it is about being strong, being able to play with those grown men as I am
You play
now.
with a lot of them in the summertime.
Yeah. So just being able to hold my own, like, this summer was a good test. I feel like I took some bumps. I took some good bumps that I wouldn't been able to take before. So that was a big step for me. Two, which I think probably the biggest thing for me is mental, right? Just shifting that whole mental to be a professional, right? To envision myself to be one of those guys. So a friend of mine told me, like, on a day-to-day basis now, like, how do you go about life away from training? Like, do you live like a pro? Do you eat like a pro? If you're in the NBA right now, would you be doing that same stuff you're doing now? And it doesn't really mean like having the same financial budget, let's say, but just like the stuff that you can control.
Yeah.
So fixing those habits. And then I would say on the court, just finding, like, obviously there's a few things that I feel like I can contribute to any team, but like finding something that I don't even want to say, I don't want to use the wrong word here, but like really, really, really good at. Everybody has that one thing that, when they get, that they can offer to a team.
Yeah.
Rather, so finding that and then playing off of that. Obviously, we know my IQ, what it's always been, but trying to be somebody something.
So you played in the G League at 19. You didn't go to high school. I mean, you didn't go to college.
Yeah.
Right? Sierra Canyon as an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
Got injured. We're going to go down your timeline.
Okay.
You got injured your senior year.
Well, let's start Heritage.
Okay, junior year.
What's doing? Yeah.
All right, great junior year.
Thank you.
Over 20 points a game. A lot of schools interested. There's some interest.
Tough summer.
Tough summer.
Mental
summer.
Yeah.
Really tough summer for you. 18, big school, Sierra Canyon. Players that's in the pros right now. Actually, 3 players that's in the pros
Shout
right
out
now.
to the guys.
Shout out to BJ. Shout out to Zaire Wade. And shout out to Bronny.
Yeah, and Amari.
4 players in the pros.
AB.
On your high school team.
Yes, sir.
You get injured. Don't have the year you want. Go to Brewster for the next year. COVID.
Shout out to Devin Carter.
Go with Devin Carter to Brewster. Shout out to Devin Carter. Got drafted by the Sacramento Kings. So now that's another teammate. That's 5 teammates.
Yeah, 5 of them.
That's in the pros.
I got started 5 teammates.
Some cold dudes.
I got some cold dudes.
Brewster, pandemic, not really a lot to do there.
Tough.
Come out of that, and we make a decision to forego going to college and to start the journey for pro.
To be a pro.
To be a pro. And knowing that was going to take a lot of steps to get there, it was going to be a tough journey. So we go to the G League at 19.
Yep.
After G League season, we end up going to Africa the next season.
BAL.
BAL. Shout out to BAL.
Yeah.
And then a quick stint for like some quick action in China.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much been your journey for the last 5 years of your life. Right?
Yeah.
So what does that journey tell you about yourself, and how does that journey prepare you for what you're going to do next, which is something that we all saw hit the social airways? So
yeah, my bad about that.
No, I knew about it before, but I'm just saying.
About to say, I think that just shows like I love basketball. I think that's what it is. Like what it all comes down to. I don't think it has nothing to do with what I'm getting out of it. Let's say because a lot of people play for money or whatever the case is. I think for me it was just like loving the game. And obviously during that time, like I said, with the tough summers or the mental lapses, whatever it was, there were some moments, some summers that you're sitting there and sometimes you contemplate. You're sitting there asking yourself like what you want to do, because you don't want to give you all to something. If you're gonna do something, you got to give you all to it. You don't want to have.
You're contemplating giving up.
Right. So contemplating giving up is a serious thing. That's when the people around you mean the most, when you can just kind of vent to them. And, it's not really so much them trying to tell you, like, because of course they're going to want whatever it is for you, but really so much you just feeling, because a lot of it's bottled up for me. And it's like the media, it's all getting in my head. So just having a family to express it to felt like a relief itself. And then praying, talking to God, of course, and fighting through all that just kept me going. So that just shows the love for the game.
So you think all that you've been through for this 5 years got you prepared and ready to put your name back into the G League draft, right? Which is 3 years later.
Yeah, for sure.
I think all those things that you did has prepared you for this moment.
Yeah. I think it's like, so I've been working for this, right? I think it's it's something I want to do. It's something I know I can go out there and compete for, Obviously, even when we first went, it was something I wanted to do, but necessarily like this is something I took action. I was telling Josh, like, yo, I'm ready. And it's just in a different mindset now, just a different body, just a different person than I was in 19, as a whole. So I think all that was preparation to see if I really, really could overcome everything. Like, okay, well, here you go, like battle tested.
Is there anything that any lesson you feel like you learned from your dad, or like from around the world, but like specifically from your dad that helped that you use as a North Star? That kind of like, this is the one thing I got to make sure that it's kind of kept you through this process, and as you looking for that next step, like kept you kind of going the direction you want to go in. Because the days you said that you didn't want to do this no more.
Yeah.
And them days you was like, man, wow.
Right. I know, like, since I've been a kid, Pops has always said, like, only play the game if you want it. Like, if this is what you want to do, right? That's always been invested in me. So I think, as cliche as it may sound, like when parents say, like, oh, do it if you want to do it. Like when you can feel that that genuine love, and it's not coming from a place of like, because most people in his position may be more forceful to, today firstborn to do what they did, right? Especially like we was talking about his greatness. So just like that alone throughout this whole journey, like me going to Pops, he's kind of sitting there like, he's not saying like, oh yeah, hey, like, it's up to you to give up. He's sitting there like, hey, I'm gonna be here with you regardless, at the end of the day, basketball or not. But I just want you to know, like, you started this game because you love it. So don't look around to, see if anybody else is gonna, kind of okay you in a sense. Like you gotta find that within yourself. But we all gonna be here for you. So that alone is a big off my shoulders whenever I, am feeling a certain type of way. And then I feel like that was the biggest thing that kept me going, just knowing, like, at the end of the day, this is just, it's been a game that I've been wanting to do since before I can remember.
Yeah, I said in my Hall of Fame speech, I said the game, about what the game teaches you, and I talked about the game taught me, about who's there for me when I win and who's not there
Right.
when you lose. And I think when you're going down this journey, this is a lonely, lonely journey to try to accomplish something that, it's kids around the world, obviously, that you'll never meet. Now, they all are waking up trying to accomplish the same thing, and there's only a select amount of spots. It's lonely to go on this journey, by yourself to accomplish it, even though you got a lot of support. But in the midst of that, we wanted him to know that this journey is his. However, his career as a basketball player that's going to be on what he puts in.
Gotcha.
And what him and God have already worked out amongst themselves, right? But the other side of it is the human, right? It's the human being, and that human being is loved, is protected, is all the adjectives that we could think of when you talk about our family. And so Z Wade scores 20 one night or Z Wade scores 0 one night, I may have a joke for him, but the hug is the same, right? The love is the same.
Right.
The conversation is the same.
Yeah.
And so I've always tried to let him know that, on this journey, because I didn't know how hard it was going to be for him in life. He was my firstborn. We didn't know. We was making it up as we went through. He's 22 years old. I've been in everybody's life since y'all have known me. It's been about 22 years. And so me and him has been riding side by side. And just the whole thing is like, me and him not turning on each other. We're not falling out. We're not doing none of that. Like me and my dad, like we rolled tight. And my dad didn't know I was going to be an NBA player. He didn't love me because I was going to turn out to be an NBA player.
True.
It just so happened I did. And so that's the same love, that we've all shown Zaire along the way, is what you do is for you, who you are. We all have a part of that. You know what I mean? We all are part of who you are. We always want you to show up and feel good about, who you are, not what you do, because what you do is so, it's fickle from day to day. Even when guys are playing in the NBA, they're not happy. I know, how many NBA players that are playing, and it's a lot of kids' dreams to be on that roster spot, and those guys that's in that spot are complaining every day. They're not happy with their role.
You see the guys retiring early.
Yeah, it's about that's probably like 90% of the league. There's only a few players that's really happy with their role. And so it's not about your job. It's not about what you do, because that can change, day to day, but it's about who you are. And so that's the message that, I wanted to make sure that Zaire understood that when you get done playing the game of basketball, hopefully however long he plays, 35 to 40 years old, now you got to deal with me on the golf course. Like we still, it just like, it doesn't change. Like my dad is out on a golf course with me now. I'm like, it does not change. Like we still out there competing. We still, doing the same thing we did as kids. And so, once you know that, it's easy to be like, I mean, that's your journey, bro. But like, I still love you, like over here, like, you know what I mean? And even though the world, can feel like, no one is supporting me, no one believes in me. But yeah.
That's dope to see that you out your mouth, you felt that. And that's a good place to be. Because I'm saying there's a lot of people, basketball or not, that don't get that.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to understand and feel that, like, at the end of the day, I'm supported, I'm loved. My journey is my journey. We all have our own journeys, Our journeys change all kinds of ways.
More journeys to come.
And there's more journeys to come, right? So it don't just stop at just that. So to know that at least that base is strong, that's a good, like I'm happy for that for you. Like I'm real happy with that for you. So now, do you watch basketball now? Like, are you watching it?
Yeah.
Anything exciting you?
Wait, why you say it like that?
Yeah, because I'm watching it.
He said, 'cause I'm watching it.
I'm watching it.
Anything exciting you? Anything you expect? Anything you're looking forward to this upcoming season? Outside of you rocking out in the G League, of course.
Right. I'm looking for my guys to get the opportunity this year.
Okay.
That's what I'm excited to see. Z Woods went to a new team in Brooklyn. So, I know they're revamping. So he should get playing time to be able to do what he do. Same with BJ on the new team at Spurs. I know they're more stacked up, more veteran guys, but that'd be good for him to get in there, be able to work with Chris.
True.
And obviously they got Wemby over there. It's a good change for him. So yeah, I'm just excited to see like the guys, being out there. Once DC get healthy, we know what DC can do. Just saw him, and just where they get the opportunity. Really.
Can you look at it that way? Can you look at it as someone who's waking up every day on the journey, someone that's been there with them on the journey? Can you look at it and actually be authentically happy for them and supporting them while you're still on your journey and you still haven't made it to where you want to make it?
Oh, for sure. Especially those guys. Like everybody we talked about, yeah, like 100%. Like those are my brothers. With or without, basketball now that we built that relationship, it don't even matter about that. I was talking to Z Will. His mom has been showing me love, and his dad been showing me love since we was high school. And just like them telling me like basketball doesn't define who I am, so why should it define our relationship? And I don't know. I feel like I would want somebody to be happy for me. My dream came true and made it, and not feel like some type of shady way. And I would hope they're feeling genuine. So, it's just it's a good feeling. You can brag about it a little bit. Like I got the homies. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's a good feeling. It's a good feeling.
It just brought up something for me during my process at the similar age. Is I had a friend in the NBA, and his name was Quentin Richardson, and his name was Darius Miles. And I used to be on the phone with both of those guys. I was in college. I was sitting out. I was red shirt. Didn't look like I was going to be in the NBA, right? I'm red shirt this year, and them guys in the league, they'd come to town. I'd go to the hotel and hang out with them. How's the league? This mini bar. Can I get some? Can I get something in the mini? Like I was just a little kid, right? But to your point, those two guys helped me throughout that year because they were in the league and their life was so gone and so busy, but they still poured into me. They always would tell me, "Oh, bro, you're gonna be here.
Yeah.
Don't even worry about it. You're gonna get your opportunity. You're gonna be here." And so these are guys who in the league who win number 3, who win number 10, or whatever the numbers they win. And I'm like, oh, they believe in me. They're my guys. They know I can play at that league. They actually seeing it.
Yeah.
And so having Q Rich, somebody I talked to often in my last year, helped me along that journey. Tell me about the league. Tell me about the guards. Tell me about the GM's conversations, all these things that helped me even make a decision that was best for me. And so having friends that have went off and did what you want to do, but still connected to them, that's love. And that's important on this journey. You know what I'm saying? Because you can get there.
Yeah.
Right? Like I eventually got there.
Right.
And then look how my career went. Like it felt like I started late if I'm comparing it to my friends. But look how my career eventually went once my time was there. And so I think it's great that you have that connection to those guys.
So now, as far as you, I know you're excited for the season coming up for multiple reasons, but like specifically the reason.
Yeah, I'm excited for the season. I mean, obviously I have multiple hats that I wear when I look at the game of basketball. I have friends who play.
True.
So I got friends who old, who I got to watch them because they still hooping. You know me. Shout out to the guys that, my guys are still going at 20 plus years. CP is entering his 20th year now, so I'm excited to watch him, see how he helps Wemby go to that next level, and not just on the pick and roll lobs, but just in the sense of how Chris knows the game, how Chris prepares for the game, how he's been able to play 20 years, even through all the injuries he's had, and that's not just physically, that's mentally, and all the things, even with family and all the stuff. And so I'm excited to see CP's imprint on the game of basketball. We're gonna continue to watch and see how long Brown gonna play at this super human level. And then I'm excited to see the Bronny James of it all, because this is something we've never seen before. This is history. Not only do we know these individual people, but we're fans of the game of basketball. And so to be introduced to a new storyline in the game, and to be able to watch a father-son duel, whether it's preseason, whether it's been practice, that is just dope. And so I'm excited to see that young man's development, not just in the NBA, but as a basketball player. That's a big storyline. And people talk a lot about it, but I don't know how many 55th picks that anybody ever cared about. And we all are tuned in and we care about what happens, in Bronny James's career. And so I'm excited about that storyline. Also, too, I wear the investor ownership hat. I'm excited about, what the Utah Jazz and teams like the Utah Jazz are doing, right? We are in and they are in this new, kind of rebuilding phase. And some people rebuild with no star players, and some get to rebuild with an all-star. It's a lot of different versions. And so the Jazz is rebuilding with an all-star. Shout out to marketing. He's an amazing player for us. But you see the youth movement, the talent that has been brought in,
Right.
over this year, especially the young guys that went in the draft this year, Cody and Isaiah, like them guys can hoop. And so I can just see the Danny Ainge, Boston Celtics imprint
Right.
as in trying to find these right young players. And if these young players are players to build around and build with, you do that. Like a Jason Tatum and a Jaylen Brown, which he did in Boston. So I can see, where the future can possibly be depending on, the talent that's there. And outside of that, man, just being a fan, I got a chance to we haven't spoke a lot about it, but I got a chance to have my voice a part of the game of basketball in the Olympics this summer. And so it got me back in the game in the sense where I'm looking like I can't wait to watch the game. Not only going to the game as a fan, but actually watching the game on TV, listening to the color commentating that's going on, listening to it in the studio, because it got me like my palms sweating again about the game of basketball. So I'm excited about this year overall because of all the storylines, and knowing Jason Tatum being a big one. Because he didn't, when you win a championship and you finally do it, you think that all the noise is supposed to quiet down. And another lesson for him, it gets louder. When you reach a level that people are not accustomed to and that they can't go, it gets louder.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to see how that young man handles the noise being louder and everything that happened this summer and the success that he had this summer to come back again as the best team in the NBA on record, right? To see if they can come back and do something that's hard, and let's try to win another championship. So it's a lot of storylines that we could talk about and that we will talk about on this podcast, but I'm excited for the beginning of the season.
That's a lot. You watch your dad on? Did you watch and listen to him during the Olympics?
Yeah, I sent him some
You told
videos.
him,
Bro, I sent you some videos, bro.
Oh yeah, you was live when I was like,
Where's my camera?
Yabusele! Z was cracking up.
Oh, because you was being super you on the show. You talking about Debo. He talking about he Debo'd him.
So you knew I was being me, right?
Yeah, I
you
know.
Knew,
I know
you. Felt
you.
it.
Yeah.
You felt the authenticity come across, right?
Yeah, I felt it. And Noah was a good, that was a perfect balance. Like, y'all should, amen. They needed, I don't know who this need to go out to.
Listen, I love to be one of my games I call with my son games one day. You know how people got those moments?
Oh.
You know what I mean? I love to be on the sideline, you know what I'm saying?
Has that been done? I don't know. We got to fact check that.
Maybe.
This
Dale.
Right?
Yeah,
Dale.
It's been done.
Dale.
It's been done.
Well,
Okay,
yeah.
but still be cool.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But now, as far as it's just funny watching the game, and I'm watching y'all, and I'm like your story. I'm in love with your story, and I'm in love with yours. Obviously, I've covered a lot of your story, but now this coming season, we got Chris and at the Spurs, and you got Clay now with Dallas. You got Russ over in Denver.
We got the old guys moving around.
Okay.
That's what happens at the end of the career, everybody. Old guys move around. That's what you were trying to say?
Well, pretty much. But you got the young guys trying to make their name, though. You got Aaron.
Yeah.
Ja coming back.
We got Ja coming back. We're excited to see Ja.
Shout out Ja.
Shout out to Ja.
Okay.
It's what's cool about the Ant Ja situation is something similar as this. Ja was him, right? He was the first him that you start talking about in the new generation. And then Ja went through some personal things, and then Ant emerged as him. And so now we coming back to this season as Anthony Edwards is coming off the Olympics and coming off of the playoffs and the year he had and everything. He's walking in like, I'm him.
Right.
And then Ja coming back like,
I'm still him.
bro, y'all must have forgot.
Right.
I'm him. And so like as the young guys get to that stage, like I remember that. I was a part of that. You can go roll the footage. when I was a part of guys bumping heads like, no, I'm him in the same game. So I look forward to seeing, obviously these two young stars.
We got two. So cause these are my guys too. But
how do your guy?
No, hold on.
They don't even know you.
Oh, hold up.
Okay, I was just wondering who you talking about. Talking about them his guys.
Well, my guys,
your guys is Zaire and BJ, right?
Time out. No. I do this. Not the basketball tip, but you got Zion and Jalen Green, two young guys who ain't too shabby.
No.
And they want people to know them too.
Yeah, two great storylines.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So so I'm looking at like those guys too, trying to make their name now as well.
You're right.
And Zion, he done came back like he got something to prove.
Yeah.
Well, he got one thing to prove.
What's that?
Can he stay healthy? The basketball he got.
He definitely
That's a
got
bad
that.
boy.
That's a bad man.
He just got to prove that he can stay healthy. And that's, obviously something that he cannot control.
Of course.
But he can do as much as he can to help control it. But that's the only thing Zion has to prove. He hasn't got to the point where we want to see if he can win yet. We just want to see him be healthy, be there in the playoffs when all the great players have gotten a chance to take that stage.
Right.
And so that's all Zion got to do. Because everything else ain't no. Listen, you can't stop me, Zion, bro. Zion is a monster, dog.
It's gonna be a fun season, man.
It's going to be a great season. We're going to talk more about basketball this year as we sit here. Like, once again, I'm excited. I got that itch. But even though the season's going to be incredible, we didn't even talk about the Philadelphia storyline. Paul George going over there. Tyrese Maxey, he on his rise.
True.
Up with Joel Embiid. Like, it's a lot of storylines. But the biggest storyline of the season is October 27th.
I'm about to say.
Statue, brother.
I thought we was going to leave that out.
Statue. No, we're going to end with that.
No.
You know what I'm saying? We're going to end with the statue. But the question goes back to you as a guest on our show. Obviously, I'm your dad, right? Yeah. And I'm also a basketball player, right? At the same time,
pretty good one.
And so, what did you think about when you first heard that I was getting a statue? That a statue was going outside of the American Airlines Arena? Watch, you've been watching that arena. You've been in that arena for 20 years.
Long time.
For 21 years, you've been going to that arena. And, just the state of statue and what that means. How did you feel? How do you feel?
It was about time. I'm going to keep PG.
What
Brian says, yeah. So it's about time that they did that. I just feel like, in my opinion, it definitely should be the only statue that gets built for the next, until we see somebody else. I don't know. Maybe the next few generations cook another Wemby or something. He played for Miami, but until then, I feel like you meant that much just to the city, to the people. And obviously, me growing up, just watching, I just seen the impact, and maybe not as the basketball part. I can appreciate it more now because I'm trying to be at the highest level. Yeah. So now I understand, like I said, the difficulty and just the challenges of what you was going through. 16 years is crazy, by the way, at the highest level. But yeah, it's just you set the tone, and it's just another. I'd be like, slow down. It's bro, you far. A statue. No, a statue's honestly crazy though, because if you think about it, it's gonna be there forever. So kids they gonna go by. For me, 20 years, 30 years from now, they gonna go by. They ain't gonna. I think, who's this? They go, you don't know D Wade, man. I gotta tell the story. And it's just that's so cool because it's happening now. You see the Jerry, people go see these legends, and that's how the game grows. Honestly, that's how they find out. Oh dang! And now some kids saying his favorite player was D Wade, and all of a sudden it's you never watched him, but it's because he saw a statue, and now he's looking up, and now you're looking at your highlights and stuff. So I think that's a good way for your name to just be forever in Miami, even though it already was.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that's what I look at. We're gonna obviously be in Miami soon. We're gonna do a podcast from Miami. We're gonna focus and talk about legacy then. We're gonna obviously talk about statue. But what you said is what I said the moment that the Heat announced last season that I was getting a statue. Mm-hmm. And it was really looking around the arena and knowing that, I'm getting a chance to go into the arena now, and I see people who I knew when we were all young together. Now they got kids, and their kids are either rocking Butler jerseys or Wade jerseys or their favorite player jerseys, right? Mm-hmm. Or, people who have gotten married, or people who have built bonds because of their love for your style of play of basketball, or because of the success of the team. We're a part of so many people's moments, or we're part of their DNA in Miami, but around the world. Mm-hmm. And so now to have something as a statue to be able to bring all that together, to be able to bring those stories that I actually told my kid, hey, you remember when I was telling you about, let's go see the guy. Yeah. And so to actually have people that will be doing that, because I know what Michael Jordan's statue meant for me and what it meant for Chicago and what it meant for kids. And so to be able to have that in front of that, in Miami, in front of that arena, I do think about the kids that is gonna, for generations, they say statues are forever. I hope I won't be here forever. So for generations and generations, the story will continue to be told. And so that's, for me, when we talk about legacy, from a basketball standpoint, it really don't get it don't get no colder than that.
It don't.
No, that's cold.
And it's funny because I'm a Miami dude. So that's home. And I remember, like I tell you before, I remember the days during 05, 06, and you're in the playoffs. And I'm watching, I'm like, yo, that young fella cold. And to see from that moment in the bar, watching you on the bar and just killing it, to where we are now, and to see that the city recognizes you and they're giving you that love. And the Heat is recognizing you and understanding they got to show you that love. And then that all culminating into something you can touch. Like we was looking at, like, you know, it's gonna be a surprise what it is. You already kind of know what it's gonna be, but it's gonna be a surprise.
It's gonna be cold.
But it's gonna be
Can't tell,
cold.
yeah.
And to see
I don't
that,
even put a D on that. It's gonna be cold.
Cold.
and so to see that, right? And for Miami to show that love, see it and embrace that.
Yeah. And that's what it's gonna feel like. It's gonna be a Miami moment.
Oh man.
The whole weekend that we're still planning right now when we get off of this podcast.
Where do you rank that if like your Hall of Fame, you got a statue,
Good question.
you done scored 50-something, 60 points, you got 3 rings, you got a gold medal. Dang, bro. I don't even know. I'm losing track. What else? You got 100 All-Star appearances.
He said 100.
You got an MVP. You got MVP. Finals MVP.
You got MVP that was not that, you know, somebody
Should have got MVP
right
of regular season.
Listen, there's gonna be a lot of shoulda gots in your life.
My bad.
We all shoulda got something that we didn't get. It's all good.
Top 3? Gotta be top 3. That's a top 3 statue. Top 3.
Yeah, that might be top 1.
But top 2, not 2.
This is well, here's the thing. When you play basketball, you already know what's attainable if you're good. So you know all-star games are attainable.
Okay.
You know if you have a good team that getting a chance to win an NBA championship is attainable. You know if you get there that winning the finals, like you know certain awards that you've won and things that you experience is attainable. I don't know if anybody really go in like, yeah, I'm about to go get this statue. Like now this may be the conversation because statues are starting to be a more of a thing. Like, but nobody was like, I'm going to get this statue.
Right.
So for me, out of everything I've accomplished from when I first picked up a basketball when I didn't want to at 5 years old to now 42 receiving the statue, this statue is really the combination of everything that you could put all my awards on this statue and it would be some more room.
Yeah.
Like this is it. This is the biggest award or moment for me in my basketball career, individually. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. Individually. Okay. Not winning is everything.
Right.
You don't get to the statue if you don't win those championships. So winning is the biggest. But for an individual standpoint, nah.
It's the pinnacle.
Man, get out of here.
Him.
It's the
get
pinnacle.
out of here.
And it's the first
I'll
one.
talk my stuff later. I'm talking my shit this time.
I think it's first and last.
Yeah, no, it's first, not last.
I don't know, bro.
We're going to cheers to that, then. We're going to cheers to that one.
We keeping it light.
We keep it light. It's
keeping it light.
Ain't cheers nothing besides water.
Young fella right here, he getting ready for the G League. He getting ready for the G League draft, so we drinking water.
Know what Melo said. Cheers. Cheers. Know what Melo said.
Well,
ain't messing
to
around,
the next podcast, next episode we shoot.
The next podcast. Appreciate you, Z Wade, man. Thank you for coming and taking a moment.
Yes, sir.
And sit down on the podcast.
Your first one.
Appreciate you having me on. You know, we gotta do this again for sure. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All right. This guy right here. What's your name?
I'm Bob. Oh, this is Bob. This is Bob.
This is Bob. I'm Dwyane. Thank you guys for tuning into the White Network.